So
that you don't like?
It is now standard to write a song, put it into Suno, and have them make the demo. It's standard in Nashville. People send me Suno demos.
Okay.
They send me AI demos all the time.
Jesus.
What that does is it puts a recording engineer out of work in the studio, even if it's his or her home studio. It puts all of the session musicians out of work, and it also, you can say, "Oh, I wrote the words and melody." I don't care, because it is coming up with the guitar part, the break it does in the middle, a little vocal run that the vocalist does that you didn't actually do in the song. It's coming up with arrangements, and your brain is not doing that. So it is taking away that creativity. And if you are like, well, it's hard for me, then don't do it. Have someone else arrange it. It's okay to suck at something, but a robot shouldn't be doing it.
Sorry about the garage. I have to open it and close it quite quick because we got this things called skeeters out here. And they suck. Recently I bought one of those electro fly swatters, and it's pretty entertaining.
I had one of those at one point.
They're awesome because it also shows you how bad the skeeters are by the front door. It's an electrical just fucking show that when I go out there at night.
Have you seen the ones that are shaped like big guns?
I have, but I'm looking to actually kill the skeeters, not just practice, my target shooting.
Is this for me?
That's for you.
Okay,
so this show is called Pints and Professional. So there's a beer or water, however you choose to drink. Yeah, it's all right, Katrina. Show up late, just spill shit all over my coffee table. That's fine.
So sorry, no. I'm late.
You're fine. You're fine. Traffic happens. Did you get into any fights with any window panes on your way here?
I didn't, but I almost texted you when you were like, okay, see you at noon. I almost was like, man, sorry. Sorry, my other hand, just to mess with you, but I was like, I don't want to do that.
Okay. So let's talk about that a little bit. What happened?
What happened was this. I was showering. I have a glass door, and it's not framed, I should say.
Okay.
So it's an unframed glass shower door, very trendy and cool looking. But what happened was I was showering, didn't touch it, water wasn't too hot, and it exploded.
Yikes.
And if you Google it, this is a real thing that
I can't believe that's a thing. Why would the builder or the person who installed those things not think of it? How hot is the water getting?
I mean, normal. I don't take scalding showers.
Okay, yeah.
Which even so, it should be able to withstand that.
I
understand if, I don't know. The crazy thing too is I was Googling this, and I was like, let me just look up a glass shower door manufacturer. I just kind of want to see what they say about that. Yeah. And so I found one, it's $1,200 for a shower door, whatever. And then they're like, buy an add-on. And it's they have these $300 films that are literally called explosion proof film that you can add to the door. First of all, if you know glass doors explode, why are we selling them? Yeah. Second of all, if you know they explode, why isn't the film just a part of the product already? Why do I have to buy it separately?
Those are valid questions, and I would hope someone could answer them. But did you report it to the apartment or condo complex that you live in?
Yeah. Well,
what did they say?
They had to get me out of the shower because there was glass all over, and my husband wasn't home.
That's
this
not
is the
funny.
thing.
I know that's not funny.
He was in LA, so I'm I was like, I don't know what to do because I am here, and I also know that the maintenance guys are men, right? So they had the office manager is a woman, and someone else from corporate happened to be there, and I know them personally, so it was great. It was fine, but they were shocked. They did not know, and they're still replacing it. And my issue is not really as much with my issue is mostly with the manufacturer. I have the biggest issue with that, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
Gotta be careful.
I would hope that they warned every other person in that building that this could oh man. Wow. It's those little things that kind of keep me up at night. Just those little things that are going to impact an entire building, and they're not even aware of it until something happens. Yeah. Okay. Well, glad you're okay. What was the end result? You got some sick ass scars?
Yeah, they actually don't look bad, and I really
you need
thought
some
they would
knuck
look cooler.
tattoos now.
I know. They stitch them up, glued them back together. And they looked really gnarly for a really long time. And then now that they're healing, they just look like little scratches. So it looks like it wasn't that bad, but it was actually very bad.
Did you go with the pink band? Like, did you choose a pink or
no? They gave it to me, but
right.
I really like the color pink. So they gave me extra wrap, and I didn't ask for another color. I was like, I'm down with this.
All right, right on. So let's do some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
Whataburger, In-N-Out.
Whataburger.
Okay.
1000%.
You can just put the microphone down, and
I think we've had this fight before.
Maybe we have, but okay. Why? What is it about Whataburger? Did you grow up with it? Is it just?
It just is. The fries.
Okay.
I don't want whatever garbage. I don't know what that is that In-N-Out serves, but it's garbage.
I will agree. I will concede to that they do not have. You're not going to In-N-Out for the fries. You're going for their burgers. And
their burgers are good.
In my opinion, some of the best customer service you will get at any fast food restaurant. I've had plenty of raw chicken sandwiches out at this Whataburger right down the street from me, and I'm like, I'm done with Whataburger, and I'm a big fan of In-N-Out. I grew up with In-N-Out, and yeah, that's been my take. And I feel like ever since the conglomerate took over Whataburger, it's just gone.
I actually agree with that.
Okay,
I agree with that.
all right.
I don't think it does good.
Liquor or beer?
Beer.
Okay. Jack in the Box, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
Okay, I can't. All right.
Jack in the Box seems like a science experiment to
It
me,
is.
you
It
know?
really is. Why is a trash food always just so good and it hits the spot? Last night I was a real bad boy. I went to see boys and then I came home and I got 4 tacos from Jack in the Box, and boy, did they taste.
They come in like a 4-pack, right?
Well, no, they come in sets of 2, but I was hungry, and so I got 4 and some fries and a Diet Coke because I'm watching my figure.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something about this trash food that I cannot. I know how bad it is. I know how much chemicals are in this garbage ass food, but yet I still can't stay away.
Do you know of Taco Casa?
No.
It's like more in DFW. I don't think there's any down here.
Okay.
I love Taco Casa.
Okay. What kind of tacos? Hard shell, soft shell?
Like hard shell,
Okay.
white people tacos.
Well,
It's so good.
I will say, like, Taco Bell is kind of like white people tacos, but that's what I grew up on. Even my mom, who's straight up Mexican, was like, let's go get some Taco Bell for 39 cents at the time when I was a little young.
A bean burrito used to be like, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Now look at where we're at.
Nachos Bel Grande.
So what did you do this weekend? You were at a show, right, in Dallas?
Yeah, I did. I did a festival up in McKinney called Texas Music Revolution, which is really fun.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites to play. They put me on the main stage.
Awesome. My wife is from McKinney.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So we did that. We drove up, played the show, hung out, came back, and then
all in the same night. Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Yeah, I didn't want to, but my husband he's my guitar player, and he had a 6 a.m. flight.
Okay.
So we had to get back.
Got it.
And the
6 a.m.
Yeah.
It's because it's the cheapest flight, probably, those red eyes in the morning.
Yeah, but he had another gig, so he also had to make sure he was there with early enough so that if it got delayed, he wouldn't miss the show.
Okay, got
situation.
It. All right,
so
got it.
But yeah.
Okay. How'd it go?
It went great, and also worst case scenario at the same time.
Oh no.
We played great. I had so much fun. I was running around the stage. It was great. Part of the reason I was able to sort of like run around the stage was because my guitar decided to cut out after the 3rd song. And it's a brand new, very expensive guitar, so I don't know what's happening.
Did you Ashley Simpson it and just started dancing to the...
Yeah, I handed it to someone and I was like, yeah. And I never get to do that on my own music because I'm tied to the microphone.
Yeah.
Because I can't pick it up.
Right.
I could get a headset like Garth Brooks.
You should go more the TED Talk just so that you can't see it.
Oh,
I think
yeah,
that's cooler.
just totally... But yeah, it was like definitely worst case scenario, but it's like, what am I going to do? Get mad at something that I can't fix.
Right.
So I'm just going to like keep going. And I thought it was my battery. So I was making all these self-deprecating jokes like, oh, my bad. I'm so dumb. Like all this. And then like they changed the battery for me and it cut out again. It was not that. And I was like, I could have just not made fun of myself on stage.
Yeah, that's true. Do you carry a backup with you?
A backup guitar?
Yeah.
I don't. I used to actually, and I don't because I got this guitar that's so nice and expensive.
You would think, yes.
One would think I would need to. I like have batteries, I have extra strings, but whatever.
I mean,
showbiz, baby.
I invest a lot in my cameras because I trust Canon and I know that they're not supposed to cut out, but ever in the back of my head, I'm like, I just need to cover my ass no matter what. I always bring a backup. So are we bringing backups to future gigs?
We definitely are.
Okay,
we
good.
definitely are.
And your husband being the guitar guru that he is, did he not offer insight, or he's like, hey, maybe try this, or I don't know, hit it against the fucking amp or something?
In the moment, we were in the middle of a song.
Okay. Oh.
So no one can really do anything. I'm just going like to the sound guy, and
doing your best charades, like.
Yeah. But then like once they thought that they got it working, he retuned, because you have to untune it to get in there to put the battery. So he was like retuning it for me and like definitely playing guitar tech. But in the moment, everyone was just like, all right, you're a singer today. Like,
was that fun or different or scary?
It was a lot of fun. It was very freeing to just be able to move around and like not worry about the capo or the guitar or whatever. I also have done for most of my career almost all singing.
Okay.
So it was kind of going back to just what I was used to.
All right.
So a lot of people feel like they are missing a limb if they just like can't play guitar.
I would assume most people would feel like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was just more worried musically. I was like, there's a texture missing that I don't like. I wish it was there.
Right. Because you want the audience to hear the song in
Yeah.
its full potential, and removing that instrument kind of like doesn't do the song justice, at least in what I would hear. Okay.
Totally. But I was comfortable. I was just kind of bummed.
Okay.
But
Good. How did you talked about this at a stage or at a show on Rainy Street? What is that venue?
Is it Half Step?
Yes, Half Step, of how you met your husband. Can we go into that?
Oh, did I?
Yeah, you did. You don't have to talk about it, but how did you meet him?
I hope that what I said on stage is true. I'll just tell you how I met him.
Yes, absolutely.
I met him through a teaching job, actually.
Oh, hell
and
yeah.
we were both teaching like private lessons. So I was teaching piano and voice, and he was teaching guitar. And we were both like pretty young. I was 23, he was 21.
And where was this?
This was up in Southlake, Texas.
Okay.
So up in DFW. Basically, like, I hate to stereotype, but it would be like a lot of, because Southlake's a very rich community.
Oh yeah, the Southlake Carroll Dragons always won every football championship
because they got the money to put into it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Very
These
familiar.
kids would come in with guitars that were like so expensive as beginners.
Yeah.
I wasn't teaching guitar, but that's what Andrew would say. He'd be like, that guy's guitar is nicer than mine, and he's like 12. But yeah, I was getting out of a relationship that was like really just horrible, just like horrible person.
You were not in love with
treated me
that
like
person
shit. I was
anymore.
not
right?
in love.
Okay.
Nice.
We'll get there.
And yeah, I definitely was like done, but it was just a bad situation. And I met my husband, and he was like, well, I'll play music, because the guy also told me that my music wasn't good enough for him to play with me. And so among other things,
the guy you were dating,
that I was dating, was like, your music isn't fulfilling for me, so I don't want to play it. And I was like,
a part of me
like,
respects.
ouch.
Well, a part of me respects the honesty in that, but Jesus Christ, I don't know.
it's deeply unsupportive,
Right?
though.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's just weird. Also, I don't know. I mean, like, I get it, but it's also weird.
Yeah.
Because I would never say that to even a friend.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I guess. I don't know. I think you could have phrased it differently, but that's fucking brutal.
Yeah. Well, especially like being so young. That's the thing.
Oh, that was my
Like,
next question. How old was he?
When all of this was happening, we were like 22, 23.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So we were
All
like
right.
getting out of college.
Got it.
See, at my age, if I was like, if my husband was like, I'm just like so busy and I really want to focus on my own music or whatever, I would be like not offended at all.
Okay.
But if at that age you're really tender, you're just starting out in the world, you know?
Yes. And I think I am a little bit more honest, but I'm phrasing it more politely these days because time is short and I want to do things, but there's certain things I don't want to do. So I want to be honest about it, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Well, just a caveat to that, or not a caveat, an addition to that, that's one reason whenever I text, like whenever I hit you up or someone to play in my band or whatever, I'm like, hey, would you be interested and available in doing this? These are the details that I have. And either like, here's the rate, or like, tell me your rate. But I always try to add like, are you interested? Because if someone is not interested, I'm genuinely not offended, at least at this age, you know? But when you're in a relationship with someone and they're just like, your music isn't good enough for me to play, essentially, like it's not musically fulfilling for me. That's like a kind of a fucking weird thing to say.
Yeah, it really is. Okay.
Sorry for can I swear?
No. Yeah, was he maybe autistic? Was he?
No, he's just an asshole.
Okay. All right. Listen. Okay. I'm trying to be honest, but nowadays I'm trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. You know, they're coming from. You don't know what situation they're coming from, but obviously you knew where this gentleman was coming from.
Yeah, he's an only child and extremely full of himself.
Yeah, that's
that kind of thing. Like thinks like he's just the best musician on the planet. Anyways,
the guy told you your music sucks in a roundabout way.
He told me my music sucks and he didn't want to play with me, among other things. It was just horrible, and I knew it was done. And so Andrew was like this boy at my, essentially this guy at my work was like, well, I'll play music with you, and I actually live in Denton too, and and we just started, we got together just to play music, and then I broke up with that other guy. And this is probably the part I told on stage, but I always tell this joke because I remember texting my best friend and being like, well, I don't know, like this guy likes me because he told me, but I don't know, like I don't want to like date. And she was like, you should just like have a one night stand. It's going to be fine. And I had never done that. I've never had a one night stand till this day because I tried to have a one night stand and I ended up marrying him.
Well, as you know, it would be forever. How is the dynamic in playing with your husband and recording it? Because I've seen a lot of photographers work together. They're married, and then 5 years later, they're done, because they're just sick of each other and the business. So not to...
No, everyone always asks that.
I think it's an important question
really
to answer.
Common, I think. Yeah, like I think it's really common that people think it's a good idea to work with their spouse and then find out it isn't. Yeah. In my experience, we work great together. When I was doing first kind of writing some other stuff and stuff that I didn't really like, it was a little bit more difficult. Like sometimes I'd get frustrated with him in the studio and I'd have like a shorter temper. I definitely believe that's on me. But I think that was, we definitely worked through it. Like we talked about it, and also it was more of a reflection of like how I felt about myself, which I came to realize kind of on my own, not him telling me that, obviously.
That's awesome.
But so now with the music we have going on, I'm a little more confident and also a little more in control. Like I write all the music. I don't really need help, but I do, totally welcome creativity as far as if I have a guitar idea, can you play this one thing and then do whatever you want?
Right.
But I just want this one thing, or just like letting him take the reins. I'm cool with that. And I think we work really well together.
Awesome.
But I will say, I think one of the reasons that works is because he's like, he comes from metal music. Like he's a metal guy.
Shut up.
He's a shredder in that world.
He's a very handsome guy, and I just could not. He's a very talented individual when it comes to guitar, but him shredding up there as a metal guitarist,
he is.
I hate to judge a book by its cover, but I can't see it until I see it.
I know, it's so funny. When I met him, he only owned his classical guitar and then one electric guitar, and it was like an 8-string, like crazy metal guy guitar.
Sick. All
and
right.
eventually, now he has guitars that actually like fit a country vibe. But I actually think that's why it works, because if he was another like artist trying to make it in like my own genre, I think we might butt heads. But he's just like happy to step into my world, you know what I'm saying, rather than feel like, okay, I have so much to teach you type of situation. So
kind of sticking to the recording process, when you are recording a song, and we'll get to some of the songs your latest releases, when do you stop the what ifs of production? Like, what if we add some more reverb to the guitar? What if we add another percussion instrument? Like, when does those requests stop happening?
Yeah.
During the recording process.
Do you mean from other people's opinions or my own?
From your own music. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just always pretty sure of what I want from the get-go.
Okay.
But what I do, or what I did for this last album, is I have a spreadsheet. So the spreadsheet has every song we're recording, with all of the information, the writers and their IPI numbers for their PROs, which is just their identification number for their performing rights organization. So that when if we co-wrote.
Yeah.
So, and then it has, I can't remember what other, and then in every other tab, each song gets its own tab, and it's every single task we need to do.
Wow.
So I have some that it's like add dobro, and then that would be crossed out and canceled because I decided I didn't want that, add pedal steel. So every single thought process is cataloged like that.
And you're doing this before you step into the studio or during the studio session, recording session?
I do it before I go to the studio, but I'm usually adding a little bit during the initial scratch. Like when we're tracking just scratch tracks, I'll kind of add some. Like, I do hear this now. Okay. When I play it with the full band, I'm kind of hearing this. So then that's when I put down all my options. And
that's fascinating that you're that detailed and organized. That's awesome.
You have to be, or you'll. I mean, it's you'll never get it.
Are other artists doing that, or that detailed in their organization?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There's a tradition of having like a sort of like a lot of studios will have whiteboards, and they'll just have a check off of like
I've
songs
seen that,
and stuff like that. But I have never met a musician that does a whole spreadsheet like I do.
Fascinating.
I'm sure they're out there.
I'm sure there are too.
Let me know. I'd love to talk to you.
Just in the studios that I've been, I've never really seen that process. It's a lot of, let's try this, let's pull that out. Let's, punch in this bass line that I messed up. So that's, I applaud you.
Thank you.
That's great.
I have like really strong opinions even from when I write the song of what I want to. So I don't really work with producers. I always just like, I know exactly what I want.
Hell yeah.
So, but occasionally, the guys will be like, it would be great with tambourine. Can I track it? I'm like, dude, totally. Like I'm totally open, but I'm not coming in there like, I don't know, I kind of have a song and can you add to it? Like,
that's awesome. Okay, good. I feel like not to belittle musicians, but I feel like they're not very organized to a sense that they're going to use a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
It's more about like, hey, let's bring the guitars, let's bring the equipment. But then when it comes to, I don't know, I never heard another musician use the word spreadsheet.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. So as I like to start these podcasts, I like to take it back to when you first started playing music. And I want to know, what did your parents do for work before we get to the music thing?
Yeah. So my dad worked for he's retired now, but he worked for the comptroller of the currency, which is basically a government agency that examines banks and makes sure they're not screwing you over, which they do all the time.
Yep.
So like he had retired and then like, I don't know if you remember, like many years back, this like big Wells Fargo thing happened, and he was like, "We should have caught that."
Yeah, they were opening up like accounts under customer. Okay,
isn't that crazy?
That is crazy.
So, so that's essentially what he did for work. Basically, like mostly like a single income family, and the really great part about his job was that we got pretty good insurance. Okay. So that was the most good thing about it. And then my mom, it was basically a stay-at-home mom, but she's very, very busy and active in the community all the time. So she's a yoga teacher, and so she does work in that sense, but she's does not have like a 9-to-5. But she's been community theater or done this or that throughout the years. But I think when she started having kids, she was like, we could never afford a nanny, and why would I want that type situation? So she was like wanted to be home. Or have a schedule flexible enough to be home with the kids when possible. And
with your dad being in that government role, were you moving around a lot? Or so you really didn't have a hometown, right?
Yeah, nice segue. Yeah,
I learned all this through the podcast that you did with Steven through Austin Music People.
Yeah,
is it Austin Music People or Austin Music Live? I think it's Austin Music.
Austin Music People.
Okay, cool. So when did you pick up any musical instrument?
I started playing violin when I was like 3 or 4, like people do. You know what I mean? Like people just put their kids in an instrument. They're like, well, does she like this? Turns out I didn't. But yeah, when I was a kid though, we always had instruments in the home, and my mom is like, neither my parents are musicians, but my mom was very musical. She'd like play on piano, and I'd just like lay underneath it and be like, but I sang my first public performance. I sang like a little solo, like "This Little Light of Mine" when I was like 4 in church. So I still count that as a public performance because I mean, I'm sure it sounded like shit, but like I was up there in front of people, like it didn't faze me. So that's kind of the first kind of like dipping my toe into performing.
And you never had any stage fright that early on?
No, but only because I was little. I don't know what's happening.
But even like in 4th grade, I remember we had to do these dumb recitals, and I hated going to them. Like we would learn a song and then we'd perform it for like Christmas or Jingle Bells, whatever. I hated it.
I was the girl who wanted everybody to look at her. I would be like, doing the dance moves.
Okay. So playing violin, went to piano, and then what was next?
I played cello for like 7 years.
Cello? Oh shit.
I don't remember any of it though. I quit when I was like I think I quit when I got to high school.
Okay. Any early musical influences that stick out?
I think probably the biggest influences, I mean, it's just like what my parents listened to, right? So there was a lot of Willie Nelson and a lot of the folk singers like James Taylor, Joni Mitchell, huge in my family. So I think like I have a lot of folky sensibility sometimes in my melodies. And I think it's because of that. It's hard to get Joni Mitchell out of your head, I think. So those, I would say those are my earliest musical influences.
Okay. Did you go to college?
I did.
Where?
University of North Texas.
Okay. UNT?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I heard in that podcast you weren't the biggest fan of the area, right?
Yeah.
What was it about it that you didn't like?
I didn't like that it was flat.
Oh.
And
kind of concrete jungle.
Yeah, totally. And it has like no trees. So it just seems like all of the trees are planned and they're really short shrubs. And again, just referencing, like I moved around a lot. So I lived in Maryland, Wisconsin, Ohio, which both famously have trees. And Connecticut is where I graduated high school. So also lots of trees. So then to move to Denton was just like, and also the other thing is like because I'm such a small town kind of person, I've never lived in a city or a suburb even, like a suburb. I was shocked to shit to see planned communities and like suburbs and like to drive down the freeway for 40 minutes and all you see are like McDonald's, Whataburger, and like planned housing developments was crazy to me. I just wasn't used to that.
Yeah, it's suburbia hell for sure.
Yeah.
So when did you get out? And what was the next city you moved to?
I left in 2018.
Okay.
And I should say, I do want to mention, because if Denton people listen to this, I also want to say that I found out once I moved there that I'm 4 generations of Denton.
Okay.
So my family's actually like from Denton. So now I feel I can say that.
Hell yeah.
I can criticize it. Anyways, we moved to LA.
Okay.
Very different.
Very, very different. What was your first experience like in LA?
Our neighbors basically forced us out of our apartment building because they hated us. And I got a note on my car saying, go back to where you came from. Because I had Texas plates.
Oh,
and they
man.
hate Texans.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah. And on the other side of that, because at first we moved out to Ventura, which is about an hour away. Well, or longer
depending on
with
traffic.
Yeah. And we lived there 6 months. Neighbors hated us. Moved closer into LA, but we lived in the Valley, and I loved living in the Valley. But the other side of that is the people living in like actual like West Hollywood or whatever would not stop roasting me for living in the Valley because that's not cool, right? And it's not artsy. And I'm like, well, I can't afford where you're living.
Yep.
So yeah,
I grew up in Southern California, well, Riverside, which is in the Valley area. And recently, I never really spent a significant time in LA. We would go for a Dodger game. We drive to Huntington Beach just to, hang out there. But recently I spent some time in LA, 2 days. And what a different world it is. Really? 1 minute you're in like the most beautiful mansion-esque area. The next you're just in apocalyptic hell.
Yeah.
It was wild to see the shift and change of wealthy to the, obviously the super poor. But man, I don't know. It was, I love the allure of it because a lot of Hollywood films are filmed there. Mm-hmm. But man, I was just like, I don't think I can live here. Gas is so expensive. Like it's just, when we were leaving, it was trash day. And even in the nicer neighborhoods, all the trash cans were like upended because all the homeless people were just digging through the trash and just chaos everywhere. So I'm like, I don't know how people made a living out there. But going back to the people and why they hated you, what were you doing?
We had dogs and they didn't like our dogs.
Okay.
But also another part of this is like it was a condo that we first moved into. Mm-hmm. And we would be sitting up, just like in the bedroom, like talking in, normal voices, and they would start pounding. So then we would start whispering, still pounding. So they like thought that we were just like loud and disruptive and obnoxious and blamed us for everything, even though like I can't help how thin the walls are. I didn't know that before I moved in here. I came here sight unseen. And the owner of the unit because they were individual condos, they would also bug him. So when he and his wife and his kid had lived there, they were also that shitty to him.
Wow.
So I know that it was not just us being terrible neighbors.
Okay.
Like, we were doing our best.
And during this time, were you working on music? Did you have another job? What?
I had to get a job.
Okay.
So I worked a customer service position, like remote customer service. It was awful.
Yeah.
You learn a lot about humanity.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Did tech support, and boy, did I get yelled at for nothing.
Man, yeah.
How long did that last?
I was in that job like 2 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Holy shit.
I was in that job, and I eventually was able to break into like doing some music in LA, but I still had to keep that job, and I kept it until we moved to Austin, and then I finally quit. But
Okay.
yeah, it was a long stint, and I really hated every second of it.
Okay. What genre of music were you focusing on while you were out in LA? Was there anything in particular?
Yeah, like mostly like pop,
Okay.
like electronic, not like EDM, but very much produced pop, like synthesizers, drum machine type stuff.
Is that something that you wanted to produce, or was it?
Yeah, I was interested in it. Like I liked it. It's not really the world I grew up with though, so it makes sense to me later why that music that I was writing was like not very good. In my opinion. Like there was some fun production around it, which Andrew would produce for me. But it wasn't like lyrically I just don't know if it really fit. And I kind of, at one point I was like, and of course like the pandemic happened. So then we were just trapped there for 2 years with, year and a half with nothing to do. And I was like, what would happen if I just wrote, because I was also learning guitar at the time. I just picked up guitar later in life. And I was like, what would happen if I just wrote? And I didn't try to make it a pop song. And I just tried to write what naturally comes to me. And I just use acoustic instruments because that's what I love anyway. That's what makes me happy. And when I did, it definitely came out a little bit more towards country Americana. Okay. So that's what started that real journey.
Maybe your ancestors were just pushing you towards the country music and coming from, the Texas area.
Yeah. So. Well, also like the first concert I went to see was Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan.
Oh, where was that?
Where was it or when?
When and where?
It was in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And they did a little tour that was in like smaller baseball stadiums, like colleges. So they're like at the Yale, because we were in Connecticut at the time, the Yale baseball stadium is where it was.
Okay.
I think it was the baseball stadium.
Wow.
But yeah.
That's such a cool concert.
Yeah, it was super cool. And like I grew up like, I listened to the Chicks, back then the Dixie Chicks. Like that is how I learned to sing harmony. I know, I can't say it. That is how I learned to sing harmonies. You know what I mean? Like, so I was listening to a lot of that kind of stuff and just did not put together as I got older and was writing music. I didn't put together like where my real like musical education was.
Yeah.
Like I did not grow up listening to Michael Jackson, who's the other, Whitney Houston, like none of that type of production, which is amazing. But my brain doesn't get it.
Yeah, I think the older I get, the more I'm starting to understand the artists like Prince. I never understood the allure. And I watched one of his videos on when I was doom scrolling. I'm like, oh my God, this guy is insanely talented at guitar. I had no idea.
Yeah.
So now I'm kind of like going down the rabbit hole of Prince. But yeah, it's just funny how my musical taste has matured, just like my palate of my, because I hated vegetables, but now I'm like, I kind of like vegetables now at the age of 38. So you hate LA and everyone in it. You want it to burn to the ground.
I enjoy it when I'm visiting.
When did you guys decide to pick up and move to Austin?
It was like beginning of we moved in like June 2021.
Okay.
And so a few months before that, I just like, we were so tired because everything was shut down in LA. Like they had cops with guns on the beach.
Yep.
You could not even be on the beach. And we were like,
and this is in 2021. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we were like, you had to double mask also. And we were both working full-time jobs and basically just barely able to survive. And it was this kind of thing where it was like, we actually can do this, but like at what cost? And is it what we really want? And I was just like, man. And at the time, the housing market in Austin was great. So I was like, what if we go to Austin and we could buy a house? And he was like, yeah. And he was just like all on board because Andrew really didn't like LA. And then like by the time we got here that, you know, the prices were through the roof, whatever, we couldn't buy one and that's fine. But yeah.
While you were, you know, in LA, were there any, what were some of the music venues that you like to go to just to enjoy music and like to play at?
Hotel Cafe was a big one.
Okay.
I really liked that one because they had singer-songwriter type stages, which like that should have been a clue for me that I like more songwriter stuff. But yeah, I really liked Hotel Cafe. They have two. You've been there?
I have
well,
not.
it's actually shut down or it's moving.
Okay.
But they just had a big like goodbye concert. But they have two stages, so there's a big main room and then a smaller room, and it's like tons of iconic people.
Okay.
Have played there. So
were there venues that kind of did the cover band thing in LA?
I don't know actually.
Okay.
I did a lot of covers, but I didn't play with cover bands. I would play piano and sing.
Yeah.
But those were mostly at like country clubs type things, like lounge singer stuff at fancy bars.
Yeah.
But the big cover band thing, I don't think is big out there. I think it's more for weddings. So if you're in a cover band, you're only playing weddings.
Well, Greg Warrens, who's a guitar player here in town, he was coming from Seattle, the area, and he was saying there's not really that type of bar that just does a cover thing, but it's kind of a bad thing because musicians don't get the ability to, you know, use their chops. They don't get the stage time to just play and you know, master their craft. And while as Austin kind of has that thing and plenty of opportunities for musicians to go out and play. Well, granted, they're playing covers, they're still working on the craft with the potential to get, you know, some sort of income from it. So I was just curious about the LA scene because I just know, you know, the Whiskey and all those famous places. And I just didn't know if there was an opportunity for any average musician to go in there and just work on their, you know, music stuff.
Yeah.
So what about Austin? What about Austin brought you, or why'd you pick Austin versus like a city like Nashville or New York?
You know, I thought about Nashville and Andrew tried to get a job out there because of it. And it just, you know, you apply for a job, you don't get, you know, it just is what it is. But it just, for us, I've always loved Austin. So we would always come down from Denton, like all the time, play shows, do South by, do the whole thing. And every time I was here, I was like, this is like my dream city. I love it. Yeah. But I never really thought about moving here because I wanted to go to a big city like LA. So when we were leaving, I did think about Nashville and we kind of like poked at it, you know, he like applies for a job and it didn't come through. We were like, okay, Austin it is. Like, so this was really the main goal. And this is like my home. I like never want to leave. It's my favorite place in the world.
I tell my wife all the time, if I would move to the Pacific Northwest, that would be like the place I want to move to. But in order for that to happen, all my friends would have to die and my career would absolutely have to take a tank for us to even consider it. So I do want to just die here in Austin because I love it so much. It's a fun town. So as you moved to Austin, what did you do to earn an income?
I basically jumped right into gigging.
Okay, awesome.
So when I first moved here, I was still... actually, that's not completely true. I forgot about this. I was still kind of working at that customer service job, and then I quit like 2 months later. So I like wanted to quit. Yeah. But in the meantime, I got a job working for a roofing company, and not as a roofer.
I was like, damn, girl, that takes some strength to go haul up those shingles to the roof.
I know. You don't think it, but like I learned so much about like the pitch of roofs and how dangerous it is. Like, it's scary. If you know anyone who works in roofing, like, hug them.
I got a job photographing these roofers for a company, and I'm like, oh yeah, you can go up on the roof, or they told me I could go up on the roof. I go, okay, sure. And I'm wearing my Hokas. I'm like, one slip and I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
Like, I'm breaking my neck because this is dangerous. Meanwhile, these guys are just crawling up there like cats, just like they know what to do. And not only that, they're hauling up the shingles, and even more so, they're working in this Texas heat.
Oh my gosh,
which
I'm
like, I think it was like February. I'm like, it's kind of hot up here. I don't know how you guys are doing it. And I felt like a complete idiot just being up there with my camera. Oh yeah, hey guys, look at the camera. But no, okay. What did you do at the job?
I was basically a personal assistant for the guy who owned it, and so I would just do like, people would call and I would answer his phone and like make the appointments.
Yeah, all right.
And then like, they have like warranties for the roof, so I'd fill out information to send into the whatever. So just little stuff like that. He was just the sweetest person, and he was also a musician, so he kind of got it.
Yeah.
And so I did that for a little bit before I was just like, I can't do this.
Okay. And then when did you go full time into being a musician? Like, when did you find the ability to do that?
Yeah. Well, so some back context, when I was in Denton, from the time I left college, so like 21-ish, 22, to when I left, I was like full-time music performing. So I had already done that and then had to like go back and get a 9 to 5 and whatever. But then I would say like I was gigging pretty much what I would consider full-time after moving back to Texas, to Austin. I would say like 6 months-ish after I moved here, I was able to be like full-time. And I would still like, I think I kept the roofing job for a little bit. And that's when I was like, I can't do this because I'm like always doing something, you know, music related, and can't answer the phones. But yeah, so it was pretty soon, but I was really lucky because 2 of my closest friends live here, and then they introduced me to people, and immediately I got gigs. So.
Right on. Was that kind of scary? Like, hey, this is the pursuit that I want to, you know, go after, but the income is always in flux.
You know, it wasn't for me because the income was really, really good if you're doing wedding bands. And that's mostly what I was doing.
Sure.
So I was deeply unhappy because I was not doing my original music full time yet. But I had more income and was more stable when I was gigging full time than when I was doing like picking up an odd job as a personal assistant or, you know.
Was there any like sacrifice that you made? Like you couldn't, I don't know, go out. For me, I like to golf. So when I first started my business, I was like, I can't go out and golf as much because I have to go out and get my jobs and work on the business itself. So was there any sacrifices that you made?
No, unfortunately, like I do now, but at the time I really didn't have any hobbies. All I did was music. So
that's awesome.
I really didn't have to sacrifice anything, but having to do so many cover type gigs to stay afloat, that was and continues to be, because I pick up 1 or 2, you know, from time to time now. That was a huge sacrifice because you don't have the dates open. If you get an actual cool gig on a Friday and Saturday, you don't have those dates open, and you are basically just seen as just a cover musician. Like, people are like, oh, she just like, we'll hire her for a kid's birthday party, you know? And I'm like, no, that like is not what I want. Right. You should know that I actually hate being here. Like,
this is the bane of my existence.
Yeah. But yeah.
Okay. What, like when you first get to Austin, what was the first song that you started to really work on that you wanted to produce under your own name or write for your own name?
So I was at the time in the middle of releasing stuff or producing stuff out. So I had like 4 or 5 songs, and 3 of them were already released. So I had this song called Gold that I had released. I think I released it while I was in LA. I can't even really remember, to be completely honest with you. But I had the song Gold. I had Things I'll Never Say. And I have a song called what is it called? Go This Alone. Okay. I had to like, okay. It's called Go This Alone. So I had those that were out, and I also had a couple of other songs. One of them was called New Mercedes. Yes. One of them, it was called Truck Song. Okay. I can't remember. There's a couple more, but so those were the ones I first worked on actually producing. Like, this could be an EP. Yeah. I'll put it all together.
Let's talk about New Mercedes. A very fascinating song, and even so much so, 2.3 million people think that it's pretty good too. Yeah. What came about, or how did that song come about?
So I wrote that while I was in LA, and I was thinking about how, first of all, I couldn't afford anything. You know what I mean? Like, and I was looking at, I have always typically, until this point, had really old used cars, which I like. So I would drive like 10 to 15-year-old cars, buy them from my dad, like, and then just drive them into the ground. That's how my family operates. We don't like buy new cars. And so I was doing that, but I also knew I would need a new car soon. So I would like look around online, and I was like, what would the payment be on like a Mercedes, whatever? And it's just so much money. I know. Yeah. But at one point when I was in LA, someone genuinely said to me, he was like, well, a Mercedes is like a starter car for teens, like for kids. And I was like, geez, I like I can't even like fathom that. It's just not the world I come from. And so I was trying to write And that song actually is like the fastest song I ever wrote. And I was just like, I would love a Mercedes though.
Yeah.
I want a new Mercedes. And then I just started writing.
Yep. We did take a trip in Portland, and for whatever reason, they upgraded me to a Mercedes because they didn't have any other car, and I paid the same amount. And boy, was it fun to drive. And then I did the same thing. I was like, okay, how much do they cost? Damn. And then they're even more expensive to like maintain them. So I'm like, yeah, that's...
My God.
I'm
Oil
good.
changes are $350
That is...
minimum. The last time I went on, they tried to charge me over $600. They were like, you need all of these other things. And I was like, that's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So because of that song, like what came first? The song came first, right? Mm-hmm. And then the music video, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had the song. I hadn't released it yet. Andrew had produced it out. I was like, I want this to be like Shania Twain because I love Shania Twain.
Who doesn't?
And so he actually produced it out.
Okay.
And let me think about how to tell this. So another friend of mine who lived in Fort Worth at the time, he is a video guy.
Okay.
And he was like, I have a really good idea for this song. And I mean, but it's going to be expensive. And he kind of pitched it to me, but he was like, I will do it for free, but we just need to get there. So I was living in LA, moved to Austin. Mm-hmm. We then flew back to Palm Springs to film this music video with a 1988 560 SL.
So we're going to try this out now that you have such a hit music video. I'm always fascinated by music videos, especially when they have a good narrative. But I'm even more infatuated with like the ins and outs of how it came to be. So I'm already like kind of giddy. So Travis is the
Travis.
Okay. Funny enough, I'm actually seeing him today at 2:00.
Oh,
He recommended me for another musician, Connor Stevens, who I've never met.
I know Connor.
Okay,
yeah.
So, I guess I'm going to be a videographer and film this thing that's happening. We're going to find out more today. But yeah, I get to finally meet Travis. He's so nice. He's referred me so many different jobs, and it just so happens my schedule never works out to where I can't say yes. But this time, I'm give him a big old hug.
Heck yeah.
So this is in Palm Springs, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you can just give me the commentative, I don't know, whatever you want to do.
So I was able to rent this car on Turo. We changed that license plate because my booking said I wasn't allowed to film in the car.
And you had pink hair.
I had pink hair. Oh. Do you want to hear a story about the pink hair?
Please,
this is actually a specific story.
Okay.
I had brighter than the sun, blonde Khaleesi hair. Like I had bleached out platinum hair.
Inspired by Game of Thrones?
No, not inspired by that. I just liked it.
All right.
But it was like white blonde. I've had like so many different hair colors, but I was like white blonde. I really, really liked it. It's very expensive though. And when I moved here, I didn't know where to get my hair done at all. And I was like, I have dyed my own hair so many times. I've bleached my own hair so many times. How hard could this be? And so I tried to do my own roots, which were pretty long at this point.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I'm a dumbass and I melted off my hair. It was long too.
Oh no.
And it was like coming out in these gooey chunks. And I just remember I was standing in the chair. I was like, it's really burning. I was like, Andrew, what's happening? And he's like, it's fine. As he like pulls out like a handful of hair off my head. And I was like, this is not fine. It didn't dry for 2 days. That's how damaged it was. It just was this wet mess. And I found someone, I was like, I'm filming a music video at the end of the week. I need you to fix it. I can't obviously use any more chemicals. Yeah. And she had to cut it all off. And she was like, well, vibrant dyes are usually like vegetable dyes. So is there a color you've wanted? I was like, I've always wanted pink hair. Okay. That's how I ended up with pink hair.
Wow. All right. Just in time for this music video.
Yeah.
Do you remember what camera Travis shot on?
I don't, but it was really big and fancy. Okay. And I have photos of it that I can show you later. Okay.
I'll ask him later. I'm like, hey, I just talked to Katrina. What camera did you use for the new Mercedes music video? What was the weather like?
It was hot as hell. It was over 100 degrees.
Oh my God.
One of the days.
Okay.
At least one of the days. I'm
sure that metal on the car is not cool.
Oh my gosh. It was so hot. And we would get up at like 6 a.m. and like we would go all day because we only had a couple days to do this. So we really were filming like all day in the heat.
Can you talk a little bit about the budget? How much you spent on like the stay, the car and everything?
The car, I think if I remember, was like $200 to $300 just for like 2 or 3 days.
Not bad.
It really wasn't bad.
Yeah.
The Airbnb was, I think, $700 to $800.
Okay. any restrictions there? Did they like question you guys, or did they want to know why you were there?
So the Airbnb didn't care. I mean, it was basically like a vacation home. We didn't tell them what we were doing. Technically, you do have to pay a filming fee to the city when you film, and that's one reason we did it in Palm Springs instead of LA. Because LA is a little bit more on it with that. But out here, we would drive to what Travis did, and this was like really helpful and amazing. Is he did all of this research on what are like kind of the most remote roads around there so that we could go out, park the car, do crazy stuff. A truck might drive by and be like, woohoo! But like no one would really stop us the way they would. If you were anywhere in LA, they would stop you.
Yeah.
So I think that I bought I bought like a pair of shoes and a new dress, like some costuming, our flights. And then I think when all was said and done, I probably only spent like $4,000 on this.
That's not bad.
Which
That's
is crazy good for a music video. And it was, the thing is, because Travis was so amazing, he did it for free.
Yeah.
And I paid the guy who plays the guy in the very beginning and end of the video.
The guy who drops the keys?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a friend of Travis's who's a musician out there. So we paid him like $200 to drive us from LA to Palm Springs and be in the music video. He was like, fine, whatever. Okay. So I bought food. So I did that. But then like Andrew helped like as just like holding those reflectors.
The scrims, scrims and reflectors, yep.
So it was a lot of just everyone DIYing and investing their time and money to be a part of it, which was amazing.
It's gotta make you feel good.
It made me feel really good. But that burger is not a burger. That was like 7 or 8 a.m. That was a Jack in the Box sausage patty and a Coke, and I almost threw up. I was like, this is my stomach was turning.
It was bad?
Only because it was so early.
And you're coming from like a tummy of ingesting Taco Bell and all that shit, and that's the one that messed up your tummy?
It really like, ugh.
Okay, moving on. Do you remember how many setups you guys did, or?
That's a great question.
That's a Travis question. Awesome, later.
Yeah.
There's that burger.
There's a burger.
Or the sandwich.
Man, yeah.
Was that the only option?
Yeah, because at that time of day, like 7, 8 a.m., nothing was really open except for breakfast spots. Okay. So that's why we were like, if we use a sausage patty, it'll look like a burger.
Makes sense. So this is all happening at, you're saying 6 a.m. in the morning?
Not all of it. Some of it all the way through to sunset.
I mean, it's still pretty bright. Okay.
Yeah. But we would just start at that. Like I bought that whole sparkly outfit. That neighborhood is a very rich, like gated neighborhood, and that one their security patrol did. Because also I was sitting on the back of a car with someone else driving it. They're like, A, you're filming. B, what? Like that's so dangerous. So that was the only time we thought they were going to get us, and we were like, go, and we like drove away.
Scatter. Okay, so where'd you get the outfit at?
I got that outfit from Nasty Gal. Okay, which is just a clothing company that has a bunch of very kind of outrageous outfits. I think they filed for bankruptcy a couple times.
Was it cheap clothes. Rental or did you buy it?
No, I bought it.
Has it been repurposed or has it been thrifted or
in a storage unit?
Okay.
Sick glasses. Glasses. Yeah.
Now whose money was that?
That was Travis's money. It was $7 specifically, which I actually thought that was really funny. I liked that.
So this is, how far were you guys from Joshua Tree?
30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
The Airbnb was slightly outside of Palm Springs.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, we did that scene right there with the little space buns, that was like at the Airbnb.
Okay.
This was just like a remote road. I mean, I had to do all of my makeup and costuming myself. And like, you've been on film sets, like the film and sweat is going to mess up your look.
Yes.
And I had no one to fix it up for me. So, I mean, I feel I look pretty frazzled in this, but it's pretty good considering it's so DIY.
That's the thing about, I guess, as a man, totally fine. But
really?
As a woman, I'm sure you're just picking apart every aspect of your look. I'm Dad, it's a great costume, great hair, love the shades. But yeah, I would never noticed.
Oh, I love that dress.
Okay. Do you remember what light source they're using there? Oh, fuck.
Yeah. He was using this, don't you I thought you were going to thumbs down it.
No.
Don't you dare.
No.
That was this like, if I remember correctly, it was like a bar. It was like a
just
light
a straight bar,
and he could change the color
Got
of it.
Okay. I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I liked that.
My thing is, I guess my only critique is like, I don't know what would motivate that light source if I'm being super picky. But this is again coming from my background, and like I've always been taught like you need to motivate the light from some source, whether it be like a sun or something. I wouldn't know where that light source is coming from or why is it pink, but I guess it fits the music theme. So
I think part of the decision too was because we were doing like, we can't spend a week out here filming. We're doing just like 2 or 3 very long days. It was like, we're running out of light.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this in here. It's a vibe.
Okay.
I think that was
right.
sort of the like, the motivation behind it, but.
Got it.
But yeah, no one would be, actually, I shouldn't say no one would be driving around with pink lights in their car because my current car, which is a Mercedes, has pink lights in it.
Okay.
So it works.
You willed it into existence. That's awesome. And we have another wardrobe change here. Same wardrobe place that you got the sparkly thing.
I think I got the sparkly
outfit.
dress from Nordstrom or something.
Nordstrom?
Oh, no, Dillard's.
Okay. Dillard's, really?
Dude, I shouldn't say this on this podcast because everyone's going to start shopping there. Everyone thinks Dillard's is for old ladies, but they actually have a great shoe selection for women.
Okay.
I don't know about men. Great shoe selection, really great dresses.
Okay. So, women, check out Dillard's. Don't sleep on it. All right. Got it. I'll tell my wife that.
I love it. Got those shoes from Dillard's.
And that's it. Okay.
Then he has to pick up his keys. I went joyriding and
then he would probably leave a negative review on Google because you just left all your shit in his car.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, that was fun. That's the first time I've been able to do something like that because I don't think any other artist has produced a music video like that before. So congratulations.
Thank you.
When did you start to see the uptick in like viewership on that video? And what was that like?
So to be perfectly honest, I actually had, just because I don't know, I'm not going to give you a PR answer. I had met someone else who was also really interested in the song and my career.
Yeah.
And he helped with marketing.
Okay.
So
that's
good. Kind of why I got those views.
Yeah.
But I will say the good thing is like, you can see on, because if you do ads or like, or I had also done separately from that, my own thing where it's kind of pitched to people who do YouTube playlists and then they put it on their playlists. So that also helped the views.
Yeah.
So, so the uptick kind of started after the first couple of days, I think. Like the first day I was like, this is more views than I thought it would have. But then after the first few days, that's when it really started. Sure. And part of that is like on the back end, if you do like run ads or whatever, and even just in the analytics of the videos, you can see if people see it and just skip and go away. And then there's an amount of seconds that it counts. I don't remember what it is, but counts as a view.
Yeah.
And you can see when people like stay there and keep watching. And I actually did get a bunch of comments. If you look on it, people will say, this came to me as an ad, and I literally always skip them. And instead I like this. I like clicked into it. And I was like, thank you. That's actually a huge compliment. People were like, I didn't think I'd like this, but good job on the video. And I was like, it's a compliment to me that you automatically thought you wouldn't like me and then liked it.
No, it really is. But I think that's the people I want. I want those types of answers because it's only good for your business. Like that's how you're supposed to get your exposure. That's how you get job opportunities. That's how people see the songs. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's part of you being a business owner. So I had no idea, and that's great. Shit, maybe I might do that with my podcast because it's just I'm constantly putting stuff out there. I just don't know how to get it into the right people's viewership. The thing that I've been trying to do is post to Reddit, but everybody is so particular about like you have to follow the guidelines of whatever community. And it's just like, because I do different podcasts with different industries. So like a couple ones ago, I did one with a woman who owns her own bar and restaurant. And I'm like, I'm going to throw this into the, I don't know, restaurant subreddit. well, it got kicked out because they're like, you're not part of this community. We can see that you're just throwing it in here to get views. I'm like, yeah, because I want people to go to this restaurant and hear this woman-owned business and hear her struggles and everything that she's done to make this a thing. But because of the subreddit, they're like, no, we don't want you. So I'm like, all right, well, we'll see what the algorithm does. So no, I think that's very smart of you to do all that marketing.
Yeah, I think that the thing that people don't realize is that labels are doing this for bigger artists times like a million.
Right.
They're doing so much of this and like really crazy things that we can get into, like fake fan accounts and tens of thousands of. It's crazy. And so you have to remember that everyone else is doing it. But also the other thing to remember is like just like what you said is like, I want people to listen to it, but you need to get it in front of them first. They don't even know it exists.
Right, exactly.
So if you've done some marketing or some pushing, some own social media, emailing people, great. But then also, if you do some additional marketing and paying for ads, all you're doing is just being like, do you want to watch this? Do you want to listen to this? Yeah. That's really all you're doing.
And I think there's, on the back end, it'll show you when people cut out or when they stop watching.
Yeah.
So, no, that's all valid information for any business entrepreneur like yourself. So let's get into your new songs, Hometown.
Okay.
How'd that come to be?
So I went to Nashville, and this is the craziest thing about the music business is I haven't been in a long time, but I used to go every 6 weeks-ish.
Yeah.
I would go to Nashville, and I would literally just hit up dudes I don't know and hang out with them. Now, not for that reason, but I just at one point sat down and I was like, holy shit. I found this guy on Instagram. I thought his video was funny, so I started following him. Saw we had some mutual friends. Really liked his songwriting. Yeah. And then I DM'd him, would you ever want to write a song together? He's like, yeah, let me know next time you're in Nashville. And the next time I was in Nashville, we wrote a song together. That on its face, it's so weird to say like, yeah, I just like DM'd a random dude like and I'm a married woman, but like I DM random dudes and go out on the town when I'm out of town. It's so weird to say that, but the weirdest thing about songwriting is that actually is how it happens. Okay. So it was, obviously completely professional. But yeah, I was, my co-writer on that song, Josh Dell, is a songwriter in Nashville and works with other artists. And he was like, well, that's what you always start with. What are we writing today?
Right.
And I was like, man, I've got this idea, but my dream, I just really wish I could write a hometown song, but I just don't really have a hometown. So it would be kind of disingenuous. I just don't know. And he was like, well, that is your song. So No Hometown was the title that we went with. And then we wrote the song from there. But yeah, I'm really proud of that one.
Opening line was like, the highway is my home.
The highway was home when I was a kid.
Damn it. All right. I listened to that song close. So many times yesterday. Okay. I think that resonated with me because knowing the backstory from that Austin music people podcast, I'm like, oh, that makes sense now it's all like coming together. So what's your favorite part about this song? Was it could be a lyric, could be the process, could it be, I don't know, you just vibe with it?
Question. I think like what I really like about it, and this is so silly, but like my favorite part is the guitar part that comes in immediately.
Okay.
And the pedal steel. The way the opening is, that kind of sets the tone. It's almost like a 50s-ish guitar kind of vibe.
I was thinking Roy Orbison when I first heard it. I'm like, oh man, this is really nostalgic. I like it.
Yeah, and then I really wanted the pedal steel on there so that we could make sure it really fits in sort of a country vibe, but also like I think it kind of would fit on a playlist with like some of the Casey Musgrave stuff where it's like a little bit country but not fully traditional at all, and it's definitely got like a soft pop element. So
it does.
Yeah, that's kind of my favorite part of the song.
Was Andrew on it?
Mm-hmm,
okay. What do you think he brought to this song?
He brought the perfect tone. Not only for the opening lines, but as the song builds, the thing that he's really good at is he's really great with textures.
Okay.
I mentioned before, he's like a metal shredder. He still has this, he writes music and he writes very, very complicated stuff. He's more of a composer than a songwriter. So he writes these complicated time signatures and all that. People like to call it math rock.
Have you seen Engine du Poitrain?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's crazy.
You guys should dress up as them for Halloween. That'd be so sick. Oh my God.
That's my nightmare, like that look.
Anyways, sorry.
But it's so surprising that despite all like the shredding and the riffs, I think his composer brain also is really great with textures. He's got like over 100 guitar pedals. So I think he brought so much artistry to it, because I was like, I want like a 50s-ish thing, but I can't tell you what that means really, because I don't know the sounds.
Yeah.
So he was able to bring the sounds. Even when we went into the studio, he was like, I think we should record 2 guitar amps. Here's how we should record them. And the engineer, Chris Bell, was like, great,
Wow.
let's do it. Like, so he has a really great brain for that stuff. And I think it would have turned out completely differently with a different guitarist.
To me, it's a very sad song. Did you mean it to be like have that tone of sad?
Yeah, like I didn't set out to write a sad song, but a lot of my songs, I'll have like the very last line or even verse flips around, so it's like hopeful, and this one really doesn't have that. It's just like, it's not hopeful, I just am lost. And I was okay with that, because to be honest, that's how I feel a lot of the time. And like, people will not, it doesn't matter where I am, if I tell someone where I'm from, because of how I've moved around a lot, they will question it. So like, I have a Texas birth certificate, I have a Maryland social security number, I have a Connecticut phone number.
Wow.
Like, and so if I can't say I'm from Maryland.
Yeah.
I could kind of say I'm from Connecticut, but I was not born and raised there, because I lived in 3 other states before that. But if I say I'm from Texas, they'll say what high school or whatever, and then they'll question me on that and say, well, you're not from here because you didn't graduate here. So there's I'm never allowed to be from anywhere.
When you're 70 years old, where do you think your hometown will be?
70?
Yeah.
I think it'll be Austin.
Okay. All right.
Because I think I will still have lived here. But if I'm honest, like as far as where my younger years are, I think I would probably say like Denton.
Okay. That's fair.
I think Denton is the fairest answer. I think when I'm that old, I will have lived in Austin so long. I'll be so crusty.
So crusty and old. Ew. Not in love. Talk to me
Yeah.
about it. How'd that come to be?
This isn't a very like romantic answer, but I wanted to write a song with a voice break in it, a yodel.
Okay.
And I had come up with I have in my phone app, sorry, I'm thinking. I have in my phone app a bunch of, some are titles and some are phrases. And I had in my phone app, sometimes I wonder how you're doing. Sometimes I hope you won't say you're fine. Somehow, and then and then there's a line, sometimes I wonder, or whatever the line is, I don't remember.
God,
and then
that is so deep and real, because I think every human being who's ever been in a relationship is always thinking about that other person, and you just hope you're having a shitty day sometimes,
or like you're not fine because you miss me,
right? Yeah.
Like, and so one of the lines also is like, sometimes I wonder if you're happy, sometimes I wonder if you're lying. Because if you're like, yeah, I'm doing great, are you fucking lying right now? And so like I had those in there, and I knew I wanted to write a song with like a yodel, and I kind of like went on this kick where I was writing a lot of breakup songs and a lot of miss you songs, which is funny because whenever I go on one of those tangents, my husband is like,
are we okay?
Are we okay?
Is there something you need to tell me?
Yeah, I just artistically I'm in this space. But so I was kind of in that headspace, and then that's how it came about. So I was like kind of playing with these melodies, and I was like, what if instead of saying I'm like so in love with you, please come back, it's like I'm not in love with you. And so that's kind of how I wish I could tell you I had this really sad story. But I mean, I think the truth about songwriters too is like, I used to say, oh, all my songs are so biographical. They are and there aren't. Like, I didn't write that song in 2024, whenever I wrote it, because I was going through a breakup and missed someone. But in thinking about that topic, I thought about everyone else that I had been in that situation with. So in a way it is,
I think I see you guys more like not only songwriters, but also script writers, because you're taking characters from people that are relatable. And me as fans, like, oh yeah, I can see myself singing this song at some point. Hopefully never. Jesus, that would be sad.
Yeah.
But no, it makes me think about the past and my past relationships. So I think, there's something there to put yourself in that place of being brokenhearted and like, fuck that person too.
Yeah, totally. And I love what you say about scriptwriters, because so much when you go into a writing session, I do this for myself now, but when I would first start co-writing, people would say, well, what is she thinking? What is she doing? Where did she come from now that she like like, did she just come from work and now she's singing that song? And even if that detail never makes it into the song, you have to write from a character perspective, or else it's just nonsense, you know?
All right, we're just over an hour, and I'm
Oh my
sorry.
God, I'm
There's
sorry.
a time. No. That's fine. I allotted for an hour and a half. Typically, these things go for 2 hours because we just get to chit chatting and it just flies by. But I do have to meet your boy Travis for that shoot here in about like 45 minutes. Last thing I want to get to is AI, because you've been pretty outspoken about it. What are your thoughts?
And
keep in mind we only have like 15 minutes.
Yeah. I think AI is an abomination. I think that I won't get into that. I think AI is the worst thing to ever happen. I have only found one good use of it so far, and even that, it wasn't necessary. It was just, okay, it could help. Other than that, I think it's completely unnecessary, and I think it will be the downfall of our society.
Okay. Jesus. All right. Talk about ending on a sad note.
Listen to my music.
Specifically, what is AI doing to the music industry?
So
that you don't like?
It is now standard to write a song, put it into Suno, and have them make the demo. It's standard in Nashville. People send me Suno demos.
Okay.
They send me AI demos all the time.
Jesus.
What that does is it puts a recording engineer out of work in the studio, even if it's his or her home studio. It puts all of the session musicians out of work, and it also, you can say, "Oh, I wrote the words and melody." I don't care, because it is coming up with the guitar part, the break it does in the middle, a little vocal run that the vocalist does that like you didn't actually do in the song. It's coming up with arrangements, and your brain is not doing that. So it is taking away that creativity. And if you are like, well, it's hard for me, then don't do it. Have someone else arrange it. It's okay to suck at something, but a robot shouldn't be doing it.
I agree. But there is this thing called live performance. Mm-hmm. I still think that even if you do create a song using AI, if you're going to get me to go to your concert, I need to hear it performed either in a video or something like that to get me to go to your concert to pay that ticket. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be that's where AI can just be stopped in its track, because totally. AI can't produce a live show. I do see it as a tool, a newly dangerous tool. And to your point, it is very worrisome that it can take jobs. But I think people are just dying for authenticity. And I don't think I don't think AI can reproduce that authenticity. Like, it can't reproduce your guitar failing during a set and seeing the magic that unfolds and like how you recover from that. Yeah. So, for me, it's deathly scary to see how easily you can produce like a video from a photo. I messed around with Firefly. So I took a photo. I'm like, all right, make this guy do jumping jacks. And it did it so well. I'm like, oh my God, all from a photo. That's wild. So what can artists do to prevent AI from taking over? I know that's kind of just like a wild question to ask, but
I don't have a great answer. I have a couple ideas.
Yeah. I like ideas.
First of all, I do think that Suno might be here to stay in the demo world, which I think is a big mistake. I think that's horrible. I do think that if you're against that, like I am, you can specifically seek out people who write the same way you do and value the same things musically you do, which people are going to do anyway with writing. But the bigger thing is, I am going to start, and I think musicians should do this, putting into my contracts of literally anyone that I work with that they cannot use AI when working with me, specifically putting my voice and image into it. So that's the thing. Like, if you use AI on your own time to edit, I'm not going to stop you. Like, I'm not going to control people.
Right.
But when we work together, I don't want you like putting my video into AI. Same thing with songwriters. If I do a little work tape on my phone, don't put that into Suno. Mm-hmm. So that's something that will be like really important to me.
Got it. Okay. Have you seen any ripoffs of your song via AI? Have you found any of that?
No, I haven't, but I've seen them. I've seen people that happens to other people. So I'm really hoping that never happens to me. We'll see, I guess.
All right. Give me some glimmer of hope that AI is not going to ruin the world. Just any idea that comes to your head. I'm thinking just live music experience. Live music is going to become even more needed just to prove that these musicians are real and they're providing a good, entertainment.
Yeah.
for the audience.
You know what I think? I think that authenticity really is the answer. And I mean, it's important to me. Like I have a new record coming out, which I haven't really announced.
Oh my God.
And I have songs on there with absolutely no tuning on them, vocal tuning.
Okay.
So I really don't even like auto-tune. I mean, there's some where you're like, I gotta scooch that up. But I have full songs where I have not tuned anything.
Yeah.
That's how much I value authenticity. And I think that the glimmer of hope is that people will start to crave that too. We've had this whole genre of...
Don't worry.
I promise I'll only be like 1 more minute.
You're fine. We got time.
Okay.
I'll ask for forgiveness when I get there.
Yeah. We in the 2010s, we had all these this really, really almost EDM pop music, and people started to feel it was cringy, and it got like people do not like it anymore. But at the same time, we had this like stomp clap folk thing happening. We also make fun of that now, but all I'm saying is like, I think that the pendulum swings. So when there's that really heavy AI and auto-tune usage, like Nashville, even in country, is super auto-tuned.
Yeah.
I think people are wanting more the Jesse Wells and the Zach Tops and the things like that.
The stomp clap, I mean, it's good because it's like addicting. It's fun.
Yeah.
You like everyone hated, look at this photo, Nickelback.
Oh yeah.
But you can probably sing every word out of every song that they produce because it's kind of good. I like it. I was embarrassed to say it, earlier on, but now I'm like, yeah, Nickelback's kind of cool to listen to.
They get way too much hate.
Yeah. What else did I want? Your new album? What?
I have a new album coming out.
When?
It's going to be at the end of August.
Okay,
it's
so we
coming
still got
out.
some time.
So we got
All right.
but it's really great. I hope you like it.
Your take on doing social media, which I think you're very good at. I love that you're kind of just admitting that, yeah, this sucks, but this is the only way I'm going to get my information out. So you kind of embrace the suck. And I think it's pretty funny. So
thanks.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on social media?
I am very reluctantly there.
Everyone hates it.
I forget about TikTok all the time, but I'm also there.
Same.
But
yeah.
I'm reluctantly there, but I've gone back and forth from feeling like I just wasn't good enough at it and just being frustrated to being like, I actually don't care at all. And once I realized, wait, if I don't care, I can do whatever I want.
Yep.
That actually helped me a lot. So I really hate it, but I'm having fun. I make memes now, and most of them don't take off. One of them did. So it's like, whatever.
I think it's just, for me, it's like an experiment. Okay, what works? What video works?
Yeah.
I don't know what. I'm putting stuff out there that I like. I'm putting videos to songs that I think works with it in some weird way. Like I put this jazz song to Zach's show at Antone's, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. Let's do some black and white effect. And I don't know. It stimulates my creativity. I like it. Hopefully they like it. But I don't know. It's to me, it's fun. It's fun to experiment. So I'm going to continue to do it. But how do you feel about imposter syndrome? Because anytime I post something, I'm like, I feel completely stupid. This is dumb. But then eventually I'm like, I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I have imposter syndrome. Good. Because I have the opposite where I'm like, my music's awesome. Why don't more people like it?
Good.
Like
that's as you should have that sensation. Because if you don't like it, who else will?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I like what I make, but I do think the kind of voice of shame in your head, I do totally understand that. And I'm really I don't really like confrontation online. I think that social media is intentionally meant to be divisive.
Oh, for sure. And
people fight over anything, and they don't think. They do not think logically, and it causes tons of misinformation. But I'm also really sensitive to that. So I just took down a video I posted the other day about hey, they're gonna start charging for social media, and I just want to make sure I'm actually reaching you guys. What do you think is less annoying, email or text?
Yeah.
But people who don't know me found the video, took it as I was whining about social media, started being like, you're just whining, this is blah, blah, and they just started tearing me apart. And I started arguing, and then I was like, I do not have the brain space for this, so I took it down, Yeah. So that kind of sucks.
It is. Granted, you have more visibility and you're exposing yourself more, but in the one, or actually the two videos that have kind of popped off for me, I just respond with I don't know, if this guy posted a GIF meme of a clown or of a guy, Mr. Rogers, putting on a clown mask.
Yeah,
and I'm like, is that the 10th member to Slipknot? That's cool. I'm just trying to just be so
awesome.
obnoxiously, like, I don't know, cute or just dumb to the point where they don't respond. But I will say, the people who are commenting like that would never, ever say that in a face-to-face situation.
Yeah.
So that's what I keep in the back of my head as, like, some of these videos get popular. I'm like, these people would never ever approach me in that way.
Yeah, it makes people real bold.
It does. It does.
Type, yeah.
All right, Katrina, thank you so much for your time and effort. Please don't get into any more fights with panes of glass.
I will try.
Say hello to Andrew. And when is your next show?
It is this Saturday at White Horse.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh,
I'm playing
sick.
the midnight slot.
Still, people are out and about. That place is busy.
Yeah, I know. I love it. That's like my favorite place to play. I hope they never fire me.
It was Thacker who told me, like, there's a saying above the stage, don't play wagon wheel or something like that.
Yeah, it says no fucking Garth and no wagon wheel.
So cool.
And it says, then there's another sign to the side of the stage that says no fucking line dancing.
Oh, man. Okay.
Only two-stepping, which I respect. But it's funny.
All right. Well, let's get out of here and go enjoy the rest of our day. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
All right.